Hey guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Kyuujin cosplay, and today we are back at you guys with The Lost Kingdom, episode 2, season 1.
Called episode 2. So last episode we were introduced to Uthred and his really complicated family history. His tragic family history.
True.
So we did figure out pretty quickly that what we learned from Vikings was not going to help in this show. The history seems to be very mixed, and we're not sure what is fantasy and fiction and what was actually real. So we'll just erase what we know from Vikings and move on in this show. We're starting anew, but still.
And we're pretty sure that for any confusion we might have, you can clear that up in the comments, guys.
Exactly.
So don't hesitate, please.
Exactly. So Uthred is a Saxon boy whose dad died fighting the Vikings, so he became the new lord of his land, but he was also captured, taken prisoner by the Vikings.
And was raised as a Dane.
Yes, and meanwhile his uncle took charge of his lands and claimed that he was the new, alderman?
Alderman?
Yeah, that's the name. Anyway, so his uncle is in charge of his lands, and he's been trying to kill him ever since, by fighting with, Vikings that were banished from the guy who took over, Uthred's education, I guess, Ragnar. He took him in and banished a few Vikings, and they ended up fighting for the uncle. They came back years later, killed the entire family except for the daughter, and now Uthred is alone with his love interest, who used to be a slave too. So they'll have to find an army, find power, survive somehow. They have a little bit of silver, so that's good. And his goal seems to be to overthrow his uncle, have revenge, and take his lands back.
Good luck, Simba.
Yeah, sorry for the recap. That was all messed up. I think we're ready to jump into episode 2 and see what he does next.
I think too.
But yeah, it was a pretty intense first episode with a lot of deaths and a lot of exposition, but we're excited for this show. So if you guys are too, please subscribe to see when these episodes come out. And if you want to see the full reaction to this, check out our Patreon in the description below.
In the meantime, let's watch it, guys.
Yes. That's cool. I want to go horse riding. It's been forever.
Alright, there's a gully over that ridge.
Oh, that's cool. He's pulling a Dalmatian. 100 Dalmatian. 101. Not sure how effective a bunch of leaves and branches would cover hoof marks, but still.
Because the leaves are going to be over the hoof marks?
He has an army. He's the choice of the Danes. All you have is me.
No. We have Ubba. Go to him with our story. With his army, we avenge Ragnar's death, and we take back Ubba.
It's that simple.
Yes.
I don't know if we can trust Ubba.
Yes.
Last episode, they took time to literally say, don't get near this guy, don't fight this guy, don't piss him off.
Well, he's trying to make an alliance with Ubba to avenge Ragnar.
True. But then if you say something like, I'll be the lord instead, like I'll take over some lands and shit instead of you, like, he might not like that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Can we be friends? Or no? Thank you.
Your back is broken.
Who did it?
We know who did this. Danes did this.
Why? I don't believe you. Why should the Danes attack a village that feeds them?
Revenge.
Revenge for what in our landed?
An uprising north of here. A Saxon slave, he killed his master at a wedding party.
Are they spreading
Are they saying
lies?
that he did it?
His name.
Uthred.
Fuck.
So, yeah, there will be no making up with Ubba. And, like, they won't trust him if he comes in and says, I never did this, they betrayed him.
Who's gonna believe them?
Yeah.
Say what? We should never have gone to Babenberg. We should have let them believe that you were dead.
No, you're wrong. I want them to know that I'm alive. I need them to know that I'm alive because they're all what's mine.
But you don't have any manpower, you don't have weapons, you have nothing to
Yeah, but
fight
you didn't
them.
expect this though.
Stop pissing on a
Ubba knows that Ragnar was my father.
He knows nothing. I doubt he'll even remember you.
Yeah,
He will believe the story that he hears first and he will kill you.
and he probably doesn't even give a shit. Like, you'll always see him as a slave. And
Right, then you could write.
if it doesn't work with Ubba, I mean,
he
you
used to
can
say
maybe
never
try
fuck
to get
Ubba.
Wessex on your side.
Maybe.
Ubba,
If I
Okay.
may speak freely,
I know you.
I'm Uthred Ragnarsson. I'm here with the truth of how my father died.
Yes, you are Ragnar's slave.
Ah.
And you killed him.
I don't know what stories you've heard, but Ragnar was killed by his own, by Danes. His former ship's master Kyuujin and his half-blind son Sven, they led the attack on a sleeping wedding party.
Can't you see that we're entertaining a king?
Lord Ubba, I'm telling you that Earl Ragnar was killed by Danes.
You be quiet, boy.
You shouldn't phrase it like this.
Gothram is right. We are entertaining a king, so no more interruptions.
I just have to know, who is that?
Huh? Who is it?
That is Saint Sebastian. The Emperor of Rome, on discovering that Sebastian had found God, ordered him to renounce his faith. He refused. So then the Emperor ordered that he be filled full of arrows. And yet,
He kept his faith.
he lived. God saved Saint Sebastian, and God should be praised for that mercy.
For how long did he live?
Well, sadly, he then ordered him to be clubbed to death.
So he died.
We went to heaven, so he lived.
I heard mention of this heaven.
They're taking this in a very kind of comedic tone.
Yeah, but I've heard of
Feasting and humping.
Saint Sebastian.
There is only one God, and I demand that you serve him.
Kill him now!
Why must I serve him?
Because God is great, all powerful.
Have him stop his yapping and prove it!
Ah, agreed.
By filling him full of arrows and see if he survives.
God spared Saint Sebastian
But the man still died.
because it was God's will.
So would your God protect you from my arrows?
If he was all powerful, he would.
Yes, if it was God's will, he would, yes.
So let us try.
So like, there's
shoot arrows at you.
no way to win. Like, if you die, it was God's will. If you don't die, it was God's will. Like, there's everything can be explained by it was God's will.
Yeah, but that's
Why not?
a poor excuse, in my opinion.
It doesn't prove anything.
Shoot.
Oof.
You come a long way, boy, to tell me that it was Danes and not you that killed Ragnar.
It was Kyuujin and Sven, Lord. And others. Why else would I be here?
To spy. To lie.
No, Lord.
Perhaps to kill me.
No, Lord.
That would be foolish.
Odin is my god.
How did it feel? The washing?
Almost
I
died.
felt
Clean.
The water was cold.
Yeah.
Nothing else?
I was a child, Lord. Now I'm a Dane.
Yeah, Dane.
I would not trust that hard.
So, now let us see
Oh fuck.
if Odin will protect you from the arrows. I like this game.
Shit.
Keep away from me. Not another step.
Archers at the
I have a hostage.
What?
I have story. Stop.
Especially considering, like, it's not in Odin's ways to save someone from death.
Have them open the doors. I will release Story when I'm clear of this place.
You go nowhere.
Then he dies. Your sorcerer dies.
Do you want to gamble it?
Oh, he's got him. He's got him like the balls.
One day I will kill you.
Story will tell you otherwise.
To be continued.
And I'm telling you that.
I knew he wasn't gonna get help from this guy. He's a loose cannon. It would have been too easy. And it gives him the opportunity to rise on
This is
his
what
own.
happens when we allow too many of them to live. Excellent. Firewood.
He's so pessimist. Pessimist. Sarcastic. Let's say sarcastic.
At least they believe that you killed your master for
Yeah.
God.
If they are all gonna believe the lie, they should, try to play it off.
Yeah. But it's
Like,
not
the
because
Danes won't help them.
They do consider themselves as Dane.
Yes, but I mean, to survive and get what he wants, he might just have to pretend that he's, you know, Saxon and that he killed Ragnar in order to get Wessex to help him. But then Wessex has other things to do. Like, they have to worry about the war and shit, so they won't care about a lord somewhere.
For a long sword.
Tell me what you need and I'll tell you a price.
A warrior sword to last a lifetime.
What are you? Saxon or Dane?
That is the question. Both.
Northumbria.
Good way to evade the question.
10 pieces, half now.
Oh, 6, no more.
8. I'll make it my finest.
8. And if she's not your finest, you'll be her first.
Like your bargain.
I want this stone set into the handle.
Oh, okay.
That can be done.
So he proclaims himself Dane, but
It's to remember.
he wants to remember it,
the
or
legacy
remember,
of his
yeah,
father.
which proclaims him Saxon. So he's embracing both.
Kyuujin and my uncle will pay for Ragnar's death, and I will have those lands.
With whose help? You said yourself we only have Ubba.
The English. If we're dead to the Danes, we have no choice.
There is no England. The Danes have England.
No, there is one place south of here. It's Wessex. With King Ethelred, we have a chance of everything.
Play off the lie. And finally, we get to be reunited with the priest.
We have business with the king, Ethelred. I say we have business with the king. Do you not understand English?
Is that why you're speaking, Ashley? Sound like a Dane.
We're here to see the king peaceably. Uthred, what are you doing?
What is it, farmer? First blood or to the
Uthred.
death?
Dude, you don't need this. You're lucky there's still one kingdom that would accept you. Shit. Oh, thank God. Hey!
Bioka.
My goodness. You know this Arsling, father?
I do. Yes, I do. Uthred, you're
Aw,
fully grown.
that's what happens.
You're old.
I am.
This I like.
He claims business with the king.
Yes, that's true. But not with the king, it must be with Alfred.
Why not inform the king?
The king's busy. But you will like Alfred. He's an impressive man.
I mean, I feel like Alfred takes charge of a lot of things
Yeah.
in this court.
Father Bioka has talked much about you, Uthred.
Yeah, he told the lie.
He believed
though.
you a prisoner, a slave to Earl Ragnar. Is that the case?
Ragnar was a father to me. I loved him.
Yet in Ethelwich, they're saying that you killed him.
They lie.
Okay.
The Danes are gathering a great army. They have in fact gathered an army.
They gather where?
They have moved upriver from London to Readingham. They are settling as we speak. We will need every advantage. And Father Bioka considers you, Uthred of Bebbanburg, to be an advantage. Whereas I believe you are here solely to hide, to save yourself.
Well,
You can do both.
why not both? Yeah.
I look at you, and I see a Dane. I see Uthred of nowhere who cares for no one but himself.
Yes.
Now I must...
The Danes are at Readingham. I'll go to Readingham.
What?
For what purpose?
Knowledge.
We have knowledge and you should stay away from the Danes.
For new knowledge. You know where they're settling, but you don't know why.
Their intention is to attack.
When?
Spring. It's always spring.
I'll go to Readingham.
He's gonna be so fucking conflicted this entire show. People around him are gonna try to sway him one way or the other. Right now he's having fun, but eventually it's gonna become a problem.
When the distinction will matter, that will become a problem.
How do we decide?
I've been to Readingham. I've watched the Danes. Their intention is not to settle.
You are saying what? That they intend to attack?
I am, Lord.
You already know this. Come spring, they'll be at our door.
They'll be marching within days, Lord. I'm sure of it.
How can you possibly be sure of it? The ground is sodden all
They
around.
made
It
their
makes no sense.
sacrifices. The ordinary warriors, they caught and killed birds, jackdaws. This is only done in the days before battle. They'll first seize a town rich with grain and livestock. I don't know the country well, but I've traveled. I believe Amendham is such a place. To defeat the Danes, you must meet them on the road to Abendam.
This is all far too convenient, my lord.
My lord, my sword was made by Saxon smith. My sword is for
Do
Wessex.
not interrupt a noble when he is speaking. Order. I believe this man and this bag of rags that follows him to be imposters. No army marches as winter approaches.
Order, enough from you now.
You've spoken, given this council much to discuss.
My lord.
Should the Danes march, we must face them. And I would rather be at the top of a hill than on the flat.
Yeah.
I say we march to Ashes Hill. But take him.
That's fair. No,
Make
that's
him
fair.
prove his
Both
worth.
make them secure.
My lord? What is this?
No, but like that's
I
fair.
see.
Like they can't just trust him. Not a lot like this, but I mean, Alfred is not
He's gonna
stupid.
understand it.
Yeah, they need to make sure it's not a trap first, and then if what he said is true, they can trust him a little bit more. He's acting very nonchalant, as if like everything is gonna happen perfectly for him. But
He
then,
was right.
yeah.
Look at them.
Yeah, at least they're ready. We're gonna have a fight.
Flank, hold! Hold!
Next episode, probably. If they show us the fight. He's seeing a powerful potential ally. It's gonna be helpful because, like they said, most of England right now belongs to the Danes.
Yeah.
So,
If he wants to create this idea of one united kingdom, of one England under one king,
you'll have to win over both, basically.
true.
I mean, the English follows them, so that's good. But I mean, you need to save Wessex, and then you need to make friends with the Danes somehow, unless you want to go all-out war and take over all of England. If it's, I mean, that would be a bit stupid. Like, I would say try to get rid. Like, if you want to win, I would say try to get rid of the leaders,
Yeah.
and then
Those who might oppose you to a peaceful unity. you know?
yeah. So in that case, that means Ubba. And his
Guthrum?
and Guthrum, yeah,
Guthrum,
the earl that follows him.
And
So these two.
Cartons.
Well, he follows the uncle, so he's an earl, but I don't think he has much power except for that.
Now he got ship and man, so yeah,
Yes,
he has power.
Well, he's an
now.
earl. That's the thing. Like there are many earls probably all over England. If you beat Ubba and the earl that follows him, that doesn't mean that everyone else will follow you. But then it could help to have a Dane who used to be son of Ragnar, who's also a Saxon by birth,
Yeah.
to help the transition. We'll have to see. But I said it last episode actually, he is conflicted and he will be conflicted for the entirety of the show. He goes to the Danes and they see a Saxon that, considering the lie, betrayed the family that took him in. He goes to the Saxons and they see a Saxon who was converted and dresses like a Dane, acts like a Dane, prays to
Think
Odin.
like a Dane.
Yeah. So I mean, we can't fault Alfred for being wary. He wanted to give him a chance considering what's his name? Bioka?
Bioka.
Yeah. What he said, like he trusts him, but he only sees the little kid he used to raise. So
That kid grown and he's a
yeah.
man now.
He's kind of wearing pink glasses, like when it comes to him. So Alfred is like, at least he gave him the benefit of the doubt. Like he's listening to his advice, he's listening to the tip he gave them. But for him to become Alfred the Great, eventually he needs to make the right decisions and be wary and careful. So yeah, he can't just all out trust him. And he seems to be a very good judge of character. And looking at him, like it's obvious that he's a Dane at heart. Although,
Yeah.
and that's one thing I wanted to talk about this episode. He and Brida seem to have a very different, allegiance. Not necessarily allegiance, but I think he still feels both. Like he's both. I said it last episode. He still thinks of himself as kind of a Saxon, and he's also
If he
a
didn't
Dane.
feel bold, he wouldn't have used the jewel for his sword.
He wouldn't have kept it, yeah. But she seems to have completely converted, and it was clear in this episode because she gets angry when he, tries to work for Alfred, when he tries to work, be a spy for them. And she sees that as betrayal of who they are. It's true, though, that, it's not like he has many options. Waiting for Ragnar to potentially come back is a thing, but then he wants this, like, he's been waiting for years, and, his uncle basically crossed the line by attacking his family and killing them.
Yeah.
So, I think, and considering his personality, I feel like he's not very patient. He likes to play, he's a bit arrogant. That might come from the fact that
a bit arrogant?
Yeah. He's a man, but I feel like he's still a boy at heart,
I don't think he's really that old.
No, yeah.
I think like he was like 12 when his father got killed, and maybe like 10 years passed.
Well, 12, well, yeah, he was, yeah.
So I think he's like in early 20s, so he's not that old.
But for them, yes. For them, he's been a man since he was 12.
Yeah.
In any case, I think he's very, he's a bit naive when it comes to, how things work in the world. Like, I feel like he showed up in Wessex thinking that everyone was going to automatically believe him.
But, yeah, maybe so. But I think that for him, he doesn't really understand that someday he's going to have to make a choice about who he is.
Well, maybe he's conflicted because he used to be both.
A Saxon, or is he a Dane?
No, but for him, that's the thing. He used to be, he's both. So maybe he doesn't truly understand just how much the two camps hate each other. Because, like, him showing up and being like, I told you the truth and stuff, you cannot expect them to believe you when you are technically their enemy. And but he sees himself, the thing is, he never really forgot about the promise, his father had him, give everyone about, how he would die for his lands and stuff. That's why he kept the necklace. That's why I think he put it on his sword. He says he's a Dane, and he's fully Dane, but when put to the test, I feel like his allegiance goes both ways, which is why he doesn't see that as sacrilege, to go and ask Wessex for help. But he expects them to automatically trust him. Maybe because he sees himself as both. He doesn't see himself as their enemy. So he expects them to give them their trust and to believe him when he says, they're about to attack. Which, they are, but they don't know that. So I can't blame Alfred, and I can blame any of the English, people we met in this episode for them not trusting him.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to learn, the hard way that if he wants them to trust him, he's going to have to work for it.
Sorry, guys.
And he's going to have to also become clear about, what he is. It's true. Like, is he Dane? Is he Saxon? Or does he want to be both and claim that he's both?
Will he be able to claim both?
If he does claim to be both, he'll have some explaining to do with Brita and with the father.
Yeah.
Because they both, that's the thing. He's surrounded by two people who love him. But Brita will give him hell if he, goes with the Saxons. And the father will feel betrayed if he goes with the Danes.
True.
And, it's not... Going with the Danes right now is not an option. It's true that there are probably Danes out there who would trust him and, help him. But then most of the ones that are in power see him as a traitor.
Because they believe the first lie. So
because they never stop thinking of him as a slave. That's the thing, that was the worst idea ever. But they had to try, but that was the worst idea ever, to go to Ubba and be like, well, dude,
Well, I don't think that would have been a mistake to go to Ubba and ask for his help. But
well, at least I see that as a mistake, because I expected him to not trust him.
I think that the first mistake that Uthred did was to go back to Bubblegum. Sorry for my pronunciation.
But that was a mistake.
He went there, and people now know that he's still alive, and the rumor that he was going to kill Ragnar and his party at the wedding night.
No, but when he went to Ubba, the thing is, he did the same thing with them as he did with Alfred. It's just that Alfred is a man, that thinks before he acts, I think. So he had more chances with him than he had with Ubba. But he did the same thing. He went to Ubba expecting Ubba to be like, of course you're Dane. Of course I like you.
But I think that the difference with Alfred is because Alfred got Father Beolka to vouch for him.
Yes.
So... And the difference, nobody was there to vouch for him with Ubba.
Well, technically, the fact that he spent his entire life with Ragnar as his son would have helped. But he expects the Danes to see him as a guy who is a Dane. Not a former Saxon who pretends to be, you know, a Dane now to survive. But that's exactly what they see when they look at him. I think that's the thing. I keep saying that, by the way, sorry. That's the thing. He looks at himself, and yes, he is. I think he is conflicted. I mean, we talked about it last episode, but he is conflicted. But in order to survive as who he is, he needs to be at peace with his past and his present.
You know what? From what I just saw from episode 1 and 2, right now, I don't think that is really conflicted about the fact that is he Dane or is he Saxon. I think that because they're that
Well, last
they
episode-
belong to both places.
Last episode, he was asking Ragnar, he was saying he should probably marry a Dane in order to become a true Dane.
Yeah.
He's acting like a true Dane, but deep down, there's also a part of him that doubts he ever became a Dane because he still has, you know, he still has a goal linked to his Saxon past.
Yeah, but the fact that Ragnar and
Him wanting the land of his father is not his Dane side.
No, I know that. But from what I just saw, I think that is more acting playfully about it. Like, it's not really conflicted that should I truly chose the Saxon
No, he doesn't
side
show
or
it. He doesn't
the Dane
show it.
side,
But
you
I
know,
think
but
that
I think that conflict might become more bigger and important later on.
I think personally he doesn't show it, but deep down he's wondering. Which is why he acts like a Dane and he says he's a Dane, but then he turns around and keeps the jewel that his father gave him and he wants his lands and stuff. He acts like he's both. And yes, maybe right now it's not a conflict because he doesn't see a problem with being a Saxon turned Dane.
But
then
that might become a bigger problem later.
that becomes a problem when he shows up at Ubba's doorstep being like, I'm a Dane, I was raised by Ragnar, he's my father, I did not betray him. And the guy is like, no, you're a slave, you've always been a slave, and we should have killed you from the get-go.
Yeah.
He goes to Ubba expecting to be accepted as a Dane. That did not happen. So then what else? Because he still needs to follow his you know, what he wants to do. He says goals. So what else? Wessex? Okay, he doesn't see a problem with going to Wessex and ask for help because he used to be a Saxon. So he's thinking, well, they'll see me as a Saxon. But what he doesn't understand, and the thing is, he's like too advanced for this era. But what he expects is not gonna happen because the hatred between the two is that strong, and he's not used to this because he was raised by Danes, being a Saxon, and they just welcomed him. So maybe it's the writing, maybe it's the character. I see this. I want to push it a little bit and be like, it's just that he's not used to the hatred that much because last time he saw that hatred was when he was a kid. And then since then, he's been raised by Danes. He's been accepted by the Danes. Yet he kept the jewel and he kept, you know, a memory of who he used to be.
Yeah.
So then what next? Well, either they are going to try to, you know, have him on their side, have him completely, you know, turn around and face the others. And then that's going to be a problem because if he ends up fighting for Alfred, he'll have to kill the Danes. He doesn't want that. It's his people. So either he's going to be conflicted then, does he have to be completely Dane or does he have to be completely Saxon? Or he's going to have to convince the others that it's fine to be both. Which is interesting because we talked about this in Vikings with the religions.
True, but like I said, we should just stop to make the comparison between that show and
It's not a
Viking.
comparison. I'm saying we talked about a similar issue in
I
Vikings.
know.
Because even if it's a different show, the times, the era, and what was going on, Saxons versus, you know, Vikings, the religions, like that's still very present in the show because that was relevant back then. And, you know, it's always about, I'm a Christian, I should convert you to Christianity, you should completely abandon your old gods and turn to our God. And the Vikings are saying, you are following a false god and you're a joke. You basically should get killed because of the gods you follow. And we met people in Vikings, you know, introducing the idea that maybe it's fine to be both, or it's fine. There's no right or wrong answer. In this case, the religion is an aspect of it, but for him, it's who he is as a person. So it's even more intense, but it's the same dilemma.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, they're giving us a lot every episode. I know there's only like, 8 episodes this season? So I feel like the episodes are packed with a lot of shit that's happening.
The episodes are packed, but the pacing is still right.
Yeah, the pacing is
Like,
okay.
we can still follow everything easily, but we got a lot of information at the same time, but it's still okay, you know?
Like, of course, that being a Viking show, of course we are going to compare it a little bit to Vikings. I feel like this is more Hollywood, you know? It's less gritty a little bit, but it's still very realistic compared to shows I've seen, you know, that I've said the same comment about some of the shows I've seen, you know, it's too Hollywood, it's too clean, you know. I feel like this is cleaner than Vikings, but it's still very realistic, and they do some gritty shit too, so that's pretty cool. The fights are great, and the characters have great personalities, so the music is good.
Who do you prefer so far? I know that it's technically just 2 episodes, but between Uthred and Brida.
I prefer Uthred.
Uthred?
Yeah. I like Brida. I just think that we don't... Well, that's the thing. We follow the story from Uthred's perspective mostly. So we get to connect more with how he feels, although we didn't see much of that in 2 episodes. We know more about his story, his, you know, his, what he did in life and where he came from. We don't know anything about Brida. All we know is that she used to be Saxon and she completely switched to Dane. I think he's got a better personality so far, but it's only been 2 episodes, so we'll have to wait. Maybe we learn more about her in the future.
Okay.
I like him, so yeah, good. Anyway, good episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out right now. The link is in the description.
And if you don't, wait for the next one to be out on YouTube, which will be next week, guys. So see you then.
Bye.